It's essential at the beginning of a project to find out what problem you're trying to solve and who you're solving it for. Are you solving it for the client that's paying you or the audience that's paying the client? Let's explore the first two steps of the design thinking process. The design thinking process helps identify a problem so we can come up with a creative solution, putting our audience's needs first. Processes can vary, but we suggest 6 steps: empathize, discover, ideate, prototype, production, and launch. First, let's discuss the client. A client is a person or business that hires a designer. While design is a creative process, the ultimate goal is to fulfill the needs of the client. This means producing designs according to a brief they provide. Every job begins with a brief. A brief is a statement where the client tells the designer what they need. A brief communicates the needs and goals of the client, as well as their deadlines and budget. It's the designer's responsibility to extract a detailed brief, interpret the brief, and clarify any gaps with the client prior to starting work. Think of it as a source of truth, something to be referred back to throughout the project. Sometimes a brief may evolve as both sides learn more. Once the brief is agreed upon, the first step of the design thinking process can begin. Often, we'll have a gut feeling about who the client's audience is. The empathy phase is all about challenging those assumptions and understanding the audience. The better we understand the audience, the better our design can target their needs and desires, giving them what they really want, not what we think they want. This is why the audience is often referred to as a target market. This collection of people might share common traits like age, location, likes, dislikes, beliefs, behaviors, or hobbies. Understanding our audience before we start a design allows us to answer design decisions like color and typography, or how the audience might prefer to receive a message. A high school student, farmer, and doctor all have different ways of engaging with a design and its message. Once a designer knows who they are talking to, they can empathize with them. Empathy is a human quality. It's the way we relate and care for each other's needs. It's the ability to acknowledge that others value different things or view the world in a different way. When we apply empathy to design, we ensure the final product serves the needs of others rather than ourselves. To empathize, we observe our target market's behaviors and we engage with them to ask them questions like how and why. This could involve secondary research or primary with interviews and workshops. Learn how they engage with designs and what brands they align with. This brings up another tool we can use during this stage. Our competitors are businesses or people who are trying to send similar messages to our target market. We can use this as a tool. By researching who our competitors are and analyzing how they've tried to address the same problem, we receive information. We can choose to offer something different or answer the problem in a better way. Based on our research, we can create fictional characters in the target market. We call these personas. We step into someone else's shoes and give our personas a name, background, and define their needs and beliefs based on our learnings. We can put these personas in fictional scenarios similar to those they might face in the real world and predict how they'll behave or engage with problems and solutions. It takes us from designer to audience, showing us our audience's point of view. Now we're ready for the second stage of the design thinking process. The discovery phase is all about defining the problem that needs to be solved to ensure it's been understood. A problem is not a bad thing, it's an opportunity to solve something. One way to identify and frame a problem is to turn it into a statement. A problem statement is a one-sentence description outlining the audience and the problem to be solved. Designers can respond to this in a practical way. Further explore your problem statement through a 5 why technique. Take the problem statement and then ask why. Write your answer. Ask why again until you have done this 5 times. This technique uses open-ended questions so we unravel the problem in a new way. This leads to more discussions with the client. With the additional understanding of audience and problem, both sides can now agree on exactly what needs to be delivered and by when. We call this the project scope. Think of it as a more clarified brief. The scope outlines exactly what is expected by the end of the project, so there can't be claims of miscommunication or disagreement on terms. This is why many designers get the client to sign off on the scope, so it's all agreed before the work really begins. The empathy and discovery phase allows us to understand, outline, target, define, and have clarity about the scope of work we need to do. Now we know what we need to do and who we're doing it for. Let's get to it.